What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the reward cards that are currently in print, the current Soulbound reward cards for Chaos Legion, which will be going out of print in just a couple of days. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of a hot take here, and I want to get your opinion on it. But I actually believe, and this is with a lot of really fantastic cards from this set, I actually think in the long run, the most desired cards could be the summoners, right? So these reward Soulbound summoners have one ability that at this point in time, no other summoners do, right? Which is the conscript ability, the ability to bring gladiator cards into ranked play or into whatever play you're in, right? Rather than just brawls. And I very much doubt that we'll see that again. Maybe we will, right? But I kind of look at this not necessarily as a mistake, but it's definitely overpowering in many ways to bring gladiators into the mix. And I wonder if the team, I wonder where the team is at on it now and thinking like, well, we'll just eventually like move these to wild, right, in the very near future so that they won't be screwing over modern players so much. Because if you have a decent gladiator set and you have leveled up summoners, that could get you quite far. And I'm running a little bit of an experiment right now in my modern in the modern format, and I'm able to play relatively well, right, with just the Soulbound summoner, some of the Soulbound cards, and of course gladiators. But we already knew that, right? We already knew how powerful this could be. And as we go forward, even though there are no current plans or no current announcements for a second gladiator set, I mean, whenever that thing comes into play, unless they designate it as something completely different, all of a sudden you'd have even these cards would be expanded in the sense where you'd have an even wider range of cards to play, right? And whatever Gladiator 2.0 cards would look like. So I was looking at the overall print rates for these cards. And so right here, Helios Matriarch, Octavia Shadow Meld, right? If you look at just a regular foil, what is it, about 1.045 million on average BCX that has been printed, and that would get us roughly 9,000 max copies. Now, I know max copies isn't the best way to look at it for several reasons, right? But again, we just need some kind of benchmark here. So 9,000 max copies is clearly more than the current player base, but if the team is successful in terms of bringing new players in, I think 9,000, for the amount that they would bring in, even if it's just like 20,000 people, right? If there's 3,000 to 5,000 people here, 20,000 people would actually be significant. 20,000 people trying to level up and play at the highest levels would be significant, right? So when I think through this, okay, there's not even enough for that, right? Let alone if we get to 50 or 100,000 players, right? Which I think is a long-term goal for the team to really push this to the masses. On top of that, we don't know how many of these cards are stuck as single BCXs in the hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of bot accounts that are now currently offline. And if we get to the mid-February of next year and those never get unlocked, then what we'll have is just the truly circulating supply, right? Not how many have been printed in total, because those will be stuck forever as soulbound, right? Meaning that you'll never be able to resell them on the market. New players coming in won't be able to, they won't be able to impact the demand or supply in that way. So I'm thinking through this to myself, and I'm just like, these might be the most valuable cards. And I'm not burning any of my Soulbound reward cards right now, just because I'm thinking to myself like, okay, well, let's just see what the demand looks like in the future, right? Assuming that the team is going to be at least somewhat successful in their campaign to bring in new players. But a part of me is even looking at this now and saying like, man, I should just open up a bunch of the rare chests or the rare, guaranteed draws, and even some of the chests, right? Because that'll get me more of these rare cards just to have them, right? Just to have them just in case, because it'll take, the more I think about it, I'm just like, yes, would it be awesome to have all of the Rebellion cards, as leveled up as possible day one? Absolutely. But it's going to take some time, and I can play my way through it and have fun with it. And, hopefully it'll be a slow, steady, but fun grind as we go along. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, these cards are about to go out of print. and we don't really know the true circulating supply, right? I told you this 1.05 million or so that's printed, but we don't know how much of that is actually going to be unlocked and available for new players in the future. So I don't know. It's all these like last minute decisions, all these like kind of like ideas that are popping into my head, and I figured I'd record this here, put it out there, see what you guys think. If you guys are viewing either these summoners specifically or any of the other cards and thinking to yourself like, hey, I gotta grab more of these beforehand, just because if the game does blow up, these are so crucial to any meta. And that's probably the biggest thing for me, right? These could be crucial in any meta, right? Unlike other cards that could be nerfed, well, maybe not nerfed, but like balanced in certain ways or overpowered, or there's another type of card that comes into the mix. The reason I'm so focused in on these summoners is simply because they have an ability that I don't think we'll ever see again, that is still quite overpowering, especially as people start to max out their gladiator sets, right? These gladiator cards, especially at the higher levels, are insane, and that could really shake things up quite a bit. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.